Hi Suresh, I'm Shant.
Hi Shantanu, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, going on.
And where do you live? In Bombay or somewhere else?
No, we are in Bombay.
And which part of Bombay do you live in?
I am living in Mira Road and the office is in Mahim.
So is your company working from home these days, or are you going to office?
No, I am going to office because most of the leadership team is coming to office. And we have got a very lean presence. So all those who can work from home, they are working from home. But we are regularly going to office.
And for your type of an organization, Suresh, where um, uh, there is a manufacturing setup and there's so many things which are already happening there. Hi Indu.
Yeah, hi Shantanu. Hi Suresh.
Hi, hi.
So we're just chatting with Suresh about how does he manage work from home when his company Polycab is actually manufacturing stuff. There are people coming into factories. So your factories are fully operational, Suresh?
Yeah, factories are operational and because our manufacturing is going on. And thing is that we are building our inventory because we are looking into other side of the coin that once this pandemic gets over, there is going to be the huge demand which is going to happen in the market. So we should not be missing out in order to fill that gap. So we said that is a time that we should be building the inventory, and so we are running our manufacturing unit. Though the time is not very right for us, the other units are not doing, but we are working reversely.
Hey Manjeet. So you're on mute. We can't hear you. Still no, you're not on mute, but we still can't hear you. No, not yet. No, no, no. There's no voice detection on your machine. Otherwise,
Hello.
Yes, now it's better.
Yeah.
So
How are you?
I'm good. How about you, Manjeet? Good to
Very
see
well,
you
very
again
well.
back. Yeah. So Suresh,
Yeah, sure.
Suresh and Indu. I mean, both Manjeet and me were there in another panel a few weeks back.
Okay.
We were debating on
Hi.
another topic. So Manjeet heads the HR for India Infoline.
Okay.
Just introducing all of you, Suresh. We have
Hi.
HR for
Good to
Polycab,
connect, Suresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
and we also have Indujita Bose. She heads the L&D for one of the finest startups, Yulu
Okay.
Banks at
Yes.
Bangalore.
Yes. Hi. Good to connect.
So Indu, are you people going to office, or because your business is largely renting bikes and all of this stuff? I mean, how do you guys manage working from home?
Yeah, it's actually very tricky. So clearly, a group of people, they're required to be on field, and some of us do have the privilege to manage from work from home. So if I could put it that way, so yeah, I mean it's like most of the times. So there's a class of people who are able to manage work from home, but yes, even we are going to office at times,
Ah,
depending on the operational
I see.
requirements.
I see. I see. So Suresh, for you, factory must be a lot of precautions and a lot of this sanitization and a lot of
Yeah.
PPE kits
Yeah.
looking like extraterrestrial people. Is it that way?
No, it is a big challenge because we have somewhere close to 10,000 employees working with us. Out of this, almost 6,000 people are working in the manufacturing units. So it is really a challenging time for all of us because I remember that when we started opening our office somewhere in the mid-May, factory somewhere in the mid-May. So that was a time when we were taking a lot of precautions in order to see that because only 25 or 30% of the people were coming for the work. So the things were really, we have taken a lot of care that period of time. But as the production capability started increasing and the manufacturing has started working and we started opening more of the manufacturing, so that seriousness, if you see, is really dropped down from all level, not only from the level of the management, even the government is also not very serious today in terms of it. So to the extent what we can do is, see, we started this entire rapid testing process for the entire people, the entire employees in our organization. Now they started becoming a failure effort on our side because a lot of cases started detecting. Now as its result, if we find that 6 out of 6,000, we find that more than 50% is dinner, where we will be going in terms of that. And this testing itself was not a very foolproof testing, because one place we tested positive, another place the same test was carried out, we found it as a negative.
Oh,
So we
yeah,
are
an RT-PCR test or something else?
no, it's an antigen test for
Antigen test.
antigen test. So if you look into it, so there are various challenges which are coming before the HR, and really we are seeing that how to cope up with it, and few of the fatalities have taken place. So as a company, we whatever best we can do, we are doing it. And certain things, even as in terms of CSR also, we have donated a lot of ventilators to the hospitals, and we have seen that what best can be done in terms of it. But it is, to be very frankly telling, it is highly challenging time, and we are not finding any solution or any panacea for it at this juncture, and hope that the things should improve in near future.
Actually, you're right. I mean, there is no one size fits all type of a solution at this point in time. I mean, the type of steps that you'll take in Mumbai would be very different from the type of step that you'll take in a place in Chhattisgarh, for example, or Goa. So I think it is to be more localized. I mean, massive one size fits all lockdown, that era is gone. I mean, I heard that some of the states in some countries are still doing it, but then I'm not too sure whether that's a great strategy at this point in time.
No, do you look into it? Even in case if you take all precaution at a factory level or at an office level, and when you have got these blue collar workers who have not much educated in terms of their social distancing, in terms of their awareness, so we don't know what they do when they go back to their home.
Yeah.
To that extent, it is very difficult to maintain the control, except for providing some amount of learning, educating them, and that also becomes insufficient at certain period of time, with the locality where they live, the type of people they mingle, where they go. So, okay, we can create a boundary within our own systems, but what happens when they go out of a system is really something where we don't have any control.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. You do not know which place, where they live, and who do they meet and go, and what type of, how are they traveling to office. All of these is also a big challenge today.
No, even to the extent of traveling, even for the, let us say for the extent of traveling, the company has been very generous in terms of providing the transportation.
Mm-hmm.
That, okay, let us provide our own transportation. To that extent, we will mitigate those risks of the people using the public transport and all. Even for the Mumbai also, we provided the transportation, a different part of places, like for instance, it is coming from east, west, and even from Navi Mumbai to that extent. So that is what we are doing today. And so we don't want the people to travel in a public transport and get it. But even in spite of these efforts are insufficient.
Yeah.
And we cannot stop the business too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, correct. Economists too. I mean, it's true that all employers, all of us, we are not like ponds or oceans. We are like rivers, right? We have to flow, and that's the. And shareholders don't pay our salaries as customers do. So if there are no customers, there's no salaries, there's no employees, there's no organization. Ultimately, business has to go on. That's absolutely right. Indu, how are you guys managing it? What percentage of your people are actually coming to office, uh, and the type of business that you do is into? Are you started seeing an uptick on the business now?
Yes, I mean, post the pandemic, I mean, during the corona, of course, we kind of changed a lot the business model, etc. So there was a time we got into, so primarily we are into a shared mobility, micro mobility service. And we also have a similar setup where we have a group of employees who are kind of blue collared, the repair and maintenance guys who actually are the backbone of Yulu, where you see all the zones clean, the bikes available, accessible. So all these pointers are completely handled by my field staff. But yes, when the corona started, the COVID time started, it was very tricky for us because most of the employees also migrated back to their hometowns, and it was very dicey at that time to take a count of employees, that how much vehicles would be actually used on the road, shall we decrease the number of assets, because we were at a massive expansion mode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking about 5 6 months back, we were at
Absolutely.
a massive expansion mode, and everything became so tricky that we were all kind of clueless what is to be done. But that's the beauty of any startup. I think we are very agile and very I mean, frugality is what we believe in. And within no time we diversified ourselves in terms of the business idea. We merged into B2B partnerships, and whatever resource we had at that time in terms of human resource, yes, we did maximum to be optimized. I am proud to say that none of them were laid. I mean, nobody was asked to leave the company, and so that was a big achievement, because we are not a very old organization. We are a very young startup, like almost 3 years. So, and in fact, right now also, like you asked, how many people are coming to office, etc. So I would say that the field staff, yes, they are totally on field, and we are taking as much precautions, and we are doing all those sessions and one pagers and all those digital, we're using every platform to educate them about their safety measures. But at the same time, we do make a presence on the field. We do accompany them at times to, show the empathy, and to show that yes, you're not alone, in this time we are also with you. So close to about I would not say 50%, yes, but 20 25% people, yes, they are going to the office. And including myself, I have a training center here uh, in Bangalore at Indiranagar, which is the Yulu Learning Center. And in fact, I myself go there and I spend time with my field staff. I mean, sharing what they are going through in the field. So I think it plays a lot of importance in their life when they see the leadership coming in and supporting them. Even the co-founders, they also spend a lot of time on field. So I think all of this together makes it really.
That's a good insight. We are almost at 4, and I think we should get started. I mean, because there are audience on YouTube. We are live on YouTube now, and there'll be audience who will be joining us there, and they'll be interested to get us started. So, should we get started, all of you?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, welcome viewers to yet another session from School Guru, where we want to discuss the future of jobs and the 21st century skills that people need to acquire. Pleasure to have with me Mr. Suresh Kumar, the Chief HRO President HR from Polycab. I have with me Manjeet Mohan, who is the Head of HR for India Infoline IIFL, and we have the Head of L&D for Yulu, which is Indujita Bose. Thank you all of you panelists to be here. My first question to you, Suresh, is we're obviously living in a very unprecedented time. Right? There's no such model, there's no such template available anywhere. We have never seen something like this in all our lifetimes. And we are also unsure of the future. We're not sure when is this going to end, because we are not sure where are we in terms of the pandemic. Are we almost at the beginning of it? Are we at the middle of it? Are we almost at the end of the pandemic? So it's becoming unmodelable. We are seeing job cuts everywhere. We are seeing pay cuts, which is rampant all across. Industry is going through a lot of upheaval, all of us. We do not know what's the new normal going to be post this pandemic. What type of jobs will exist? What type of open positions will I see? Because most of the times we have seen that whenever such a crisis have come, it's actually created new jobs and new opportunities. What, in your opinion, where is the industry headed? Where do you see, where all do you see the, in the new scenario, in the new world, where all will be the new opportunities?
It is a challenging time, but as the saying goes, opportunity comes only when there are challenges. So my recommendation to all who are sitting over here and all those who are watching, because I feel that the good times are going to come. So not to lose any hope. And if you see, the entire world has got polarized today.
Mm-hmm.
And today, there was a time when the world was totally dependent upon China, and it was a feeling that nothing can happen without the Chinese goods. Now, if you see that the way the things are moving today, that everybody is getting united, They say that, okay, we have to develop our own capabilities. We have to develop our own manufacturing setup. And we have to find a way out that how we can beat these monopolistic countries.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a good beginning if you see. It has this pandemic not there, had this COVID not there, will we ever get an opportunity to think like this? We will be in a ever basic normal, the way the things were running, that would be running like that. But having said that, this is going to bring a lot of challenges to the country like India, to the people like India. We cannot be the same steady tortoise staying over here of waiting for an opportunity and making it and walking at a snail speed. No, if you need to catch up with this competition, if you have to catch up with the world, then the two things are very, very important for us to develop right now. When we say there is a job cut, we are not having a job, we are staying at how best, how good we can be an innovators.
Mm-hmm.
This nobody is going to teach you. This is the type of mindset you have to develop in yourself. Number one. Number two is very important, is that what is your pace today and how you can multiply your pace. Now, in case if you ask these two things, these are the two things which are going to develop our capabilities, nothing else. And this is a time when we will be investing in it. By be it industries, be it organization, be it individual, be it institutions, they should be right now investing in these two parameters. One is to be how to be innovative and how to improve our pace. Have we got a solution for these two things? Believe me, our path, our directions are going to be our directions are going to be very wide. Our goals are going to be right, and nobody can stop us over here because there is an opportunity which is lying before us. And in case if suppose we are unable to tap these opportunities, you need not have to blame anybody. You please blame yourself. And the scenario is going to be the same when in the 19th, when our country got opened up to the global economy, when most of the industry could not able to keep the pace with those type of industry, like industry of Hindustan Motors Limited, or for instance, many of the renowned textile industries of those days, like Calico and other industry, which they closed down just because that we could not able to match up with the speed, we are going to land up in the same problem. So let us please change our mindset at this juncture. Don't worry what has happened to us in last 5 to 6 months. This has taught us a big lesson. Let us improve ourselves, let us change ourselves, and let us create a goal, move towards it.
Completely agree with you, Suresh. Well said. I mean, it's difficult to predict actually how this recovery is going to be. Is it going to be a V-shaped recovery? Is it going to be a U-shaped recovery or a bathtub-shaped recovery? Somebody also told me there's an L-shaped recovery. So I do not know actually which way it is going to be. And a second point that you also made makes a lot of sense to me, where you said that the responses to this pandemic is going to be different by different countries. I mean, though the expectation from all governments is the same, but it's difficult to say that India with a per capita GDP about $2,000 can match up, say, for example, New York's per capita income of about $90,000. I mean, it's difficult to do. I mean, they're struggling with all the infrastructure, how to manage it in different times. I'm sure the responses are going to be different, and different countries are thinking different strategies.
See, we cannot compare ourselves with other countries, to be very frankly telling. Okay. Now, let us say Indian rupees, in case if you have to compare the Indian rupees in absolute value in terms of the dollar, and then you compare the economy with US economy with Indian economies, I have a feeling that we are close to $6 to $7 trillion economy. In case if you really, because in case if we are spending for 10 rupees over here, that 10 rupees is equivalent to 1 rupee of that particular country.
I understand. You brought in the purchasing power parity as a concept inside, and
so you cannot just compare. Let us again draw a small analogy of India over here itself. We have got the resources, we have got the manpower. Only thing what we are lacking today is the right skill and the right capabilities. If you can tap this, and which I do feel that Indujita will agree with me, that this is a time when we will be investing in learning.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you that there will be requirement for new skills. But before I come there, Manjeet, I mean, I want to throw the same question to you. In your mind, what is this new normal? What is life going to be in the post-pandemic situation? What type of jobs do you see? Do you still see salary cuts? Do you still see job cuts? Do you see pay cuts? Do you see work from home becoming a new normal? What is your definition of the new normal post-COVID?
Great. So for me, it really is a constant change process, right? Change is the only thing which is constant. We all know that. Only thing that we have started realizing that pace of change slightly more higher at this point in time. Otherwise, the economy is evolving, the industries are evolving, the people are evolving. So there is evolution that's happening at every moment in time. It's fortunate or unfortunate that we have realized that pace of evolution, and that pace of evolution hit us very hard in an unanticipated time frame. That's the only difference that I see here. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I see the positive side of it. It is acceleration of change. This change was anyways meant to happen. This COVID only accelerated that change process. So where we would have seen ourselves in the next 3-4 years, we would have actually backtracked that time, and we are actually ahead of time. So from that perspective, I see this as a positive opportunity from not just industries, people, life perspective, skills, all of it. Uh, Talking about skills, right? All of us talk about blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, process automations, all of that. But we would have slightly been relaxed and chilled when we talk about this, saying that anyways, that's a far-fetched event that we know that we need to reach, but yes, we still have the time to reach. But all of a sudden, they came to us and started knocking, saying, "Hey, have you not adopted all of us? Or rather, it's too late for all of you to really start thinking, but actually getting into action." So it's a process that has come us. Normally, people go to the processes. Now the processes have actually tried reaching out to us early and say, "Look, hey, it's wake up, and it's time for you to really fasten your seatbelts and take the next trajectory of growth." That's from a process perspective, from an understanding perspective. From an industry's perspective, I think this has given a lot of options, and wherever I see and whichever industry I look at, people are looking at automation. So automation was always there in the dictionary and in the growth path, but only thing is that automation process now gets kickstart immediately. So anyways, which was meant to happen would be again fast forwarded to the current or the present. From a people perspective, yes, all these skills, it's not that we are discovering new skills. Skills always existed, and all these skills that we are talking about, whether that be future of work or whether that be future of skill, all of these exist. It's not that we are going to all of a sudden invent a new skill and say, "Hey, look, COVID really wants us to really look for something which is beyond what we imagined or thought about, and we are really going to discover or invent a new skill which people never had." So this is all inherent in our economy, in our nature, in our genes. It's only that we need to realize that and bring out that potential at the right time. And here, the time has actually made us realize, saying that, "Look, we need to act," rather than wait for we to realize that it is time for us to act. So I think that's the only difference that I see. And the economy and the business, it has really given way for people to really be entrepreneurs. So you have never seen so many entrepreneurs and so many options that entrepreneurs could really look at so far. And yesterday, in fact, I was just going through my LinkedIn connects, and I all of a sudden saw a lady who had started her business on online matchmaking process. So we used to have those brokers earlier, which nobody used to go back to fix their marriages. But all of a sudden, I see a very promising lady starting her business, which is online matchmaking, and she is going to teach you about how to find your perfect match in the next 30 days. So that's something which nobody thought is going to happen, and people are creative. So it's really brought out the creativity in people, and that I think is the best outcome and the best way that this COVID has really taken us through.
Completely agree with you. You said that that COVID doesn't create new trends but accelerate existing ones, and people are being innovative to figure out new ways and new ways of doing business. My next question to you, Indujita, is in this uncertain times, which sectors do you think we should bet on? Which industries will grow? Which will not? Where do we place our bet on? What type of companies?
Okay, so what I see right now, the boost, I mean, the major bet is on the e-learning industry as such, because these are the companies who have suddenly been a lot of uh, kind of solace to the companies, and obviously the IT sector and the telecom sector. So these three industries, I think they are going to see the maximum boom. And the fourth industry, which we can definitely bet on, is the e-commerce. Now, I can see a lot of retail brands suddenly coming on the e-commerce. I mean, they're making a lot of tie-ups with these erstwhile e-commerce websites. You see pantaloons, you see a lot of brands, international brands, like although you see Veromoda, I mean, all the apparel brands, fashion brands, suddenly tying up with the major e-commerce platforms. So I think, yes, e-commerce is going to see another big change, or rather, I mean, it was always expected, at least in India, being a major market for consumers. But yes, definitely the effect is very fast. In fact, every day I am a heavy e-commerce user. So every day that I open a Mintra app or an Amazon, I see 10 new brands coming on the platform. So it's a big bet. And of course, you see telecom also going through, though there have been job cuts, there have been massive consolidations in the telecom sector, but there's no end to the, bandwidth usage in terms of the consumption which is going on in various platforms. You see a lot of this work from home, which is again going to be the new norm. And I agree to that, because people are not only going to save on the rent, the electricity, the real estate, everything. I mean, it's a comfort, a win-win situation for the employee, who saves a lot of time to go to office, and save that time where he can do a workout, or he can have his breakfast and also give time to the family. It's also a win-win situation for the company, because they feel that, okay, we are giving a privilege to the employee, and of course we are saving a lot of cost in terms of infra. So I
Suresh,
think,
what do you think about it? I mean, Indujita is making a point that work from home is the new normal.
yeah,
Historians always warned us against presentism, and they said that don't make too much out of stuff. I mean, I don't have an opinion on this. I just want to understand your opinion, Suresh. I mean, are we going to see a crash of the real estate sector, where offices would cease to exist and the prices of real estate and price of commercial real estate at least will come down, because as Indu thinks that a large part of the people will continue to work from home?
See, one thing, I partly agree with what Induja is saying, because for the two reasons is, first, and today there is a compulsion for work from home, let us understand.
Mm-hmm.
In case if suppose if there is a choice, the people were very happy initially, and especially in the manufacturing setup, in case if I need to really specify, the people were very happy initially when they say, okay, it is going to be work from home, or they are going to, they will not be going to the offices, or they are not going to be. Initially they were very happy. Then they said, sir, what happened? Because our things are getting delayed, we are converted our office home into offices now, because we want our family to be as disciplined as we wanted to. We cannot allow them to venture into our rooms. And every more than, at least in offices, it is very clear that we need to work only for 8 hours, 9 hours. Then we have to go here anytime the bosses calls and say, why this work is not done, whatever we are doing, coming and doing over here. You wanted that our productivity to be mentioned. We are very straight, say, but we have got a lot of strain at this juncture. Why don't you open the offices and call us back? This is one side of a story, to be very frankly telling. So I do feel that until this pandemic continue, people are going to make an hype of work from home. And as soon as the things are going to get normal after the pandemic, the things will be the same it was before pandemic, because especially we Indians, we wanted to interact, we wanted to meet people personally, we wanted to see that our colleagues are there, we are discussing, we are sharing. And today, what is happening over virtually when we are doing all these things? What exactly is happening is that there is some feeling of artificiality in it. There is no community coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because while we are working, while we are doing it, we are far off place and we are working over here, and we are seeing that our family is also there with us. At least in case if suppose, let us say I'm in office, when I come back from office and I'm at a home, I want that my wife to come and give me a cup of tea or coffee to me, serve me a coffee. Today it doesn't happen because I just have to go up there and get my coffee, come and drink. So to that extent, what is happening over here is we are distancing this informal relationship, because when you convert your home into an office, you wanted your family to be more formal with you. And as a result, when you say family to be formal, then the family relationships are not there.
Mhm.
And you have converted your...
I completely understand two different thought words completely, and I hear what you say. I mean, how do you manage discipline? How do you manage relationships when you're working from home? And in which that brings a different perspective. And she takes the TCS way, says that by 2025, only 25% of my staff will go to office. I completely see the two different thought words altogether, and good to hear both of you saying that. Um, so just taking a different track now. Manjeet, my question to you, I mean, you belong to one of the leading financial services firms, and you see things from very different perspective. We all spoke about Industry 4.0. We talk about the fourth industrial revolution. We have been speaking about all of these for the last so many years. COVID accelerated some of these, right? So it's premature. It's like premature delivery for a lot of stuff that started happening now. Industry 4.0 was there's two or three things which sat at the center of Industry 4.0. Was one was about connectivity, and Indu uh, alluded towards that, and it was about data and information, right? So it talked about data centricity of data. Everything is data centric, be it and information which is could be in physical, it could be digital, it could be biological system. I mean, so it talks about data connectivity, all of these stuff. And you said some time back that COVID is not creating new trends, it's just accelerating the existing trends, which means that whatever we thought will happen in 2030 is happening now. In this scenario, what are the key skills that you think an employee would need to possess to become resilient and become relevant in times to come?
From a skill perspective, I think let me just take a step back and answer this slightly from a different perspective and an angle. So far, what I've been doing from an organization's perspective is ensuring that the employee is given with the right set of skills and training support to ensure that he performs the job at hand today.
Mm-hmm.
So, what has this COVID really taught us? COVID has taught us this very pure fact that look, it's not good enough for you to equip your resources to be job ready today. You ideally should be making them future ready, because future is something which is unpredictable and you never know when that future will beckon on you. So organizations, I think, first step that all organizations need to take from a learning perspective, from a skilling perspective, is to look at ensuring or looking at what are the future skills that an organization is wanting to see in their employees. And it will vary from industry to industry, from organization to organization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And hence you really can't put in certain skills into a bucket and say, okay, look, these are for sure the necessary skills which would be the skill of future, because it's going to be very specific to organization, very specific to the maturity level of that organization. Where is the organization in that trajectory of growth? Is it a startup? Is it an established business? Is it in the financial domain? So you need to have a lot of considerations before you really come down to that point of addressing that skill requirement and the future of skill gap. Having said that, I think one more key learning that I've seen, or what has really helped me understand and evaluate, is we always have been talking about taking the learner uh, uh, to learn something, or pushing the learner to learn something which the organization desires. But that stream of thought, I think, is no more valid today. It's more of looking at what is the organizational ask. Are your employees aligned and equipped enough to really meet that organizational ask for tomorrow? And hence, do you have the resources and capability to really equip them with the necessary skills? uh, all these IT skills, and especially, so if you ask me one sector which has really seen an importance and close monitoring and interest from people, is information security.
Mm-hmm.
Because now everything is online, whatever, whether it's purchase, whether it's dialogue, whether it's meetings, whether it's transfer, everything is online. And hence information security as a sector is actually seeing a boom and spotlight being thrown on them from a data security, data management, data privacy, data articulation, storage perspective, all of that. So much of influence and importance will be given in every sector from a data management, data security perspective, which is a future skill. And obviously, like I said, others like machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, these are always the skills that existed. But something which would really stark out and ask for a spotlight or ask for an importance is information security at this point in time. And the skills or rather equipping people to be really be cognizant and bringing in that compliance sensitivity towards information security. I think that's the skill and that's the requirement that organizations would be really looking at, especially from a banking financial sector perspective.
So Suresh, what would be your perspective to what Manjeet is saying? Manjeet, we are losing you a bit when at times. Now it's fine. Yeah. So Suresh, I wanted to understand your perspective when things are changing so fast all around us, right? Yeah, it's just about a few years back we were talking about some other technologies. Machine learning was a new term which I started hearing about a couple of years back. Suddenly, it looks like it became mainstream. Things are changing so fast. How do employees keep themselves abreast with this change, and what type of skills would they can pick up? I mean, you asked me to pick up a skill. I learn information security. Not everybody can learn information security. Maybe I can learn some of these. He can learn some of these. Does everybody need to learn that all of these technical skills? So what type of skills will keep me future proof? Are these soft skills or are these hard skills? What is your opinion, Suresh?
I wanted to just answer you in a very different perspective.
Okay.
Because see, it is something, the skill is something, what is the future skill? Even you don't know, I don't know.
Okay.
Very frankly telling. And we were not knowing 25 years ago that we will be speaking about artificial intelligence today. Absolutely. So that is a type of depth we are having in order of what I say, that a vacuumal depth we are having today of not knowing about the future. Mm-hmm. But how to prepare ourselves for the future is more important.
Absolutely. Very well said. Very well said.
Okay. So in that perspective, if you ask me, there are three things which are very, very vital for all of us. First and foremost is that let us stop using the words like ability, capability, and competence as a one meaning, as a one word meaning. No, these are all very different. Now, in case if suppose you need to understand that how our future are going to be led, so you need to understand these terms, these three terms very well, and you need to work on these three terms. Ability, if you see, is far and more related to an individual at a personal level. What is my ability? That is what I can do for it. And that can easily come, even if a child is there at your home, looking into his type of passion or looking into its type of interest in the subject, you can easily find out that what is his ability, what that child can do in future. Even with us, we can find out, okay, this I am good at these 3-5 things, so I should be concentrating on that. And I should not be getting carried away by too many things what people are telling, okay, this has become obsolete, let us not do it. See, what I say that how I can do the things differently. For instance, he very clearly said that opening an online matrimonial matching in terms of finding the matches and all. This is innovative. For that, you don't require any type of particular skill to do it. This is your ability to think differently. So that is where the challenge lies before the individuals, before the people, that what type of ability they are developing today so that they are future prepared. Number one. Number two is that then it comes to the organization. Organization is that what type of the capability they want that the employees who are working with them so that they develop those capability in the employees over here. So that is how we use these two words very differently, ability and capability. For instance, in case if suppose the organization wanted to see their leadership at a particular level, they wanted to see the leadership having a certain thought process into it. So what leadership capability that they are building? So that is there with the organization. And third, very, very important thing which I wanted to see is that how you are working on the competencies. What
Okay.
type of value systems you are creating in an organization so that you can easily map these abilities and capabilities into an organization culture. So in case if you need to see, tomorrow we don't know what is going to happen, is very clear. We were not sure that what will be, we were not very sure, even we were not even thinking that this pandemic will ever take place to that. So when the pandemic has got, the thought process has gone different, the scientists have started working differently. Though we have spent so much of money in terms of our defense and all, we have never thought that we need to spend the money on the medicines also, in terms of the research in the medicinal level. So that is going to be the future. So you have to be the future prepared for the individual is very, very, very important to understand that what is the person, the present level ability, what is the passion, and how these passions they can convert into their own profession. In case if suppose you work on your passion, there is nothing which will fail you.
Perfect. Perfect. And you rightly said the future is unknowable, and the best that we can do is to make ourselves worthy of the future. So well said. What is your opinion, take on that? And what are the key skills that you think people should think about developing? Are they hard skills or about technology, products, all of these, or are they soft skills? What is more important in times to come?
So I again also have a very an opinion that see, no skill could be futuristic or present. So I'll be talking about two skills which I feel they're very basic. I mean, going forward in life. Okay. So one skill which I feel very, very basic, and like you been talking about digitization, Suresh spoke about, this matrimony idea. So the innovation, everything is fine, but it needs a platform, it needs a practical implication and the execution of that idea. So
Mhm.
somewhere I think little bit one has to develop the skill to learn how to digitize that idea. I think that is a basic skill that all of us should now start thinking on those lines. That any idea is as good as it could be brought on a digital platform. So if my idea is not going to work on a digital platform, I think that is somewhere where it could be a roadblock in future, because everything is going to be an e word is going to attach itself in every way in our lives. So that is a basic thing. Like if I tomorrow have to open a self started kitchen, okay, a takeaway counter at my own home, or I want to support medicines to the underprivileged, for anything I need visibility and I need a platform to showcase that. And not only during the pandemic, I mean, even when there is a hustle and bustle in the city, people are busy in their lives. I don't think we get that much of time bandwidth to go and meet people and sell that idea to them. So I think one has to develop those skill set where you know how to get yourself on a digital platform in any format. Okay, it could be as simple as an email marketing, or it could be as simple as a SMS gateway, or anything for that matter. This is one. Second, I believe that selling oneself. So that is again a very big skill, which I think it's high time. I know most people are working on it, but people who are yet to who yet feel that no, my knowledge will speak one day, or I am good at this one day. I will show to the world. My work will show itself. No, we don't have that much of time. You have to come forward, and you should know how to speak for yourself, and you will have to learn those skills as to that's one word I know: sell yourself. How you can market yourself. It could be as simple as your CV. Companies like Naukri, LinkedIn, and there are so many other organizations who are really making a lot of money. They are actually supporting you in terms of improvising on your CV and highlighting your CV to the recruiters, etc. So I would still insist people that you should spend time on yourself. There are ample number of videos on YouTube. So I'm talking from a very different perspective. I know maybe it's not a very uh, uh, you know, conventional form of skill that I'm talking about. But yes, I feel it's very, very basic, and it's high time that we all should know how to market ourselves. So that's
You're making perfect sense. I mean, you're talking about digital skills, which are necessary in today's time, and you're talking about sales skills, I think, which every professional must have in today's time, because sales teaches you lots of stuff. I mean, it teaches you communication, networking, leadership skills. It teaches you to be oriented towards output and not bother too much about input. It teaches you a lot of stuff, and you're making perfect sense. But I'm still a bit confused in a world which is dominated by digitization, by computers, by machine learning, artificial intelligence. And I'm talking about all of this because just about two nights back, my wife got me to watch a movie or documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. And so scary. In case all of you guys have not watched it, you must. And it tells you about how the social media websites and social media portals are actually controlling us. Leave aside the fact that I control my Facebook page. Actually, it's not. They talk about the way it's all architected. It points towards a world where all of these movies that we have seen, the Star Wars and all of these, is not going to be science fiction anymore. That we are reaching a world where machines control a large part of what we do, right? In a world like that, Indu, my question still is to you. How important it is to pick up skills which have to do with things like emotional intelligence, things like empathy, skills like humility, things like collaboration, ability to work in teams. How important are these human skills, which obviously machines cannot replicate? How important are these going to be? Or they're not going to be important because machines are going to rule them?
Shantanu, I totally agree with you. In fact, this is a major difference between us and the machines. I mean, these are few things which machines can never, as on date. Okay, again, it's a very now I have started questioning myself, on everything, because machines have actually started building the emotion part as well within themselves, obviously through programming, etc. But there's a new thing which is very hyped these days, which is called design thinking. And the first step being empathy building. So, empathy is, of course, something, if we do not have it as an innate quality, I don't think okay, yes, you get some short term success, but you do not reach where, you're meant to be. Ultimately, all these machines, or I mean, I've not watched this series Social Dilemma, but of course I've heard a lot about it, and I am aware how this thing works. So yes, it is very frightening. You are actually, nothing is private today. The moment you are on a digital platform, your life is public. Actually, it's on a IP which is accessed by so many other people. So, coming back to the point, yes, these are few emotions. I think, I mean, these are few skill sets which only humans will be, having exclusively, and the machines might take some more time to be there. But I think, Shantanu, team building and having empathy, having emotional intelligence, yes, they are necessary, but somehow I feel uh, they cannot be instilled. Empathy cannot be imbibed in somebody. Empathy comes innate. uh, you can explain what is empathy, but you cannot make somebody feel, you have to feel this particular way. So I think, maybe with a lot of reinforcement, I think we have a lot of e-learning courses and life coach who constantly, come to your rescue, and they come and tell us, you have to feel for your employee, put yourself in the shoes of your employee, and then, take this call. Yeah, we do all those workshops. But ultimately, I think a person, these are few qualities which I am still yet to see, somebody uh, just absorbing it from a training session and just applying it on his or her work field.
Got you.
A
Got you.
little bit different thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Understand. Suresh, my question to you is also a bit contextual to the type of business that you are in. Uh, we have started observing a trend that employment is moving on from being a lifetime contract to becoming something like a taxi cab relationship, which is short, which is intimate, but which is finite, which is short duration. A large number of employers are moving towards hiring temporary people, freelancers. Gig economy is becoming a reality in today's time, right? So we are seeing so many youngsters who are coming out of colleges and refuse to work for one employer. They want to work for multiple employers. They want to have the freedom of time and space. They want to become their own kings. In a world like this, how do you prepare yourself? I mean, and this is changing so fast. What is your advice to all of these new students who are coming out of colleges fresh? How do they keep themselves relevant?
See, let me just give my own example, my own company. Last year, we have hired somewhere close to 20 students from the different various B schools, and we stood with our commitment. And though today's phase is not so good in terms of providing, but we have last month only all of them have joined us. One thing what we have very clearly told them that you don't have any career path or career plan with us. Your career planning, and we have all said that we have designated all those who are coming from A rung IIMs, we have designated them as business leadership trainees.
Mm-hmm.
And from B and C rung IIM, we have designated them as management trainees. And those who are coming from the low level of MBA schools and all, we say you are executive trainees. So that is very clear. No, we said that, okay, depending upon the type of institutes you are, depending upon the type of caliber you have, we have all inducted you in a different trainee position in our organization with different salaries. Now, there is going to be a rat race. Career is open for you. We are not going to restrict. We don't mind in any of you reach at general manager level in 3 years' time. We are open, very open. We wanted to be the entrepreneurial as soon as you complete your training. We wanted to be entrepreneurial. We wanted you to be taking the business decision. We wanted you to be making it. You tell us what type of training you want in this 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
We will be providing you training. That is absolutely okay. But you tell us how, in case if suppose you wanted to prepare yourself as a future leader, what type of training you want, what is your area of interest. All these things you will be specifying in this 1 year. Not that after 1 year you'll come back and tell me that I had interest in somewhere else, I need to work in somewhere. So we are giving you all the options open to you. You feel, no, sir, this is not the area of my interest. I should be going in the consumer division. We will send you in consumer division. We will train you over there. No, you say, no, I wanted to be in marketing. We will put you in marketing. So whatever you intend to have with us, please let us know. We have got a very scientific training methods with us where we will be rolling you in different departments, different sections, different businesses. You will be made to work in the manufacturing units, and we ourselves will see that what is your area of interest. So that way, and today we have divided you into different institutes. We have even separated you in terms of the salaries and all. That is only for a short-term period of time. Maybe a guy who has come from an institute which is not even known, there is a possibility that he may one day become your boss because of his entrepreneurial skills. So to the extent we will help you, but more than that, you need to help yourself in order to find your career path. So this message was very clear. The communication was very clear. And based on that, we said, please go ahead, because some of them asked why we should be, why you haven't said that what is going to be my designation after 1 year. Maneka, no, I don't want to limit yourself by telling that what I'm going to designate you. In case in this 1 year, you prove yourself to be very good, I may even make you senior manager after 1 year. What stops me from doing that? You show your performance, you show your capability.
Absolutely. So you made a very valid point. I mean, you're saying that take charge of your career yourself. I mean, but Manjeet, it just sparks another question in my mind. What Suresh talked about. He talked about students coming from different business schools, and he categorizes them in different categories. And they said that you take charge of your career and showcase your performance, and then the options are limitless for you. I have a very basic question to ask you. How relevant is MBA in today's time? Is it still relevant, or we have lost the relevance of an MBA program? Manjeet.
Yeah, it's a very good question, Shantanu. And I think in today's context and in the world, in the direction that the world is moving, education no longer remains criteria for defining anybody's success. And you see the successful people who have taken names, not necessarily that they have all had their MBAs from Harvards and Stanfords, not even IIMs, if you look at the Indian context. So I think education or an MBA is now considered as something which is a base, of course, but that is nothing which would really be considered or taken into due considerations for deciding where you would really reach in the career path ahead.
So what are you saying?
It's all based on
Should people do MBA or not stop doing MBAs?
my personal sense is you should stop. The reason being, majority of the times, and especially with people, and if you look at any organization, you will see a common program that all organizations run, campus to corporate. What does it mean? You are actually trying to tell somebody, saying that, look, your campus is different, your corporate is different, and you need to do and be equipped with some other skills. If your campus is not teaching you those skills, then what is the point in doing a course in the campus?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and my personal take and my personal belief, I have also done my MBA, one from abroad, but one, the teaching really matters. Uh, how well are you really being exposed to the industry, the realisms of industry? How well are you exposed to the facts of life, the facts of work when you are actually doing your MBA? Vis-a-vis, you are actually given a glorified image and a picture of management, styles of leadership, and all of that. And when you really come into an organization wherein none of these practices or none of these theories really can make a difference, because end of the day you're managing people, right? And managing people with emotions, nobody will teach you how to manage one emotions.
Absolutely.
Right? It's something which is a trait in itself. So for me, MBA, it's not absolutely necessary that you need to be an MBA to really be taking on any responsibility or reaching any position. It's absolutely the mindset and the skill set and the willingness. If you are willing to learn something, if you are willing to adapt, and if you are quick to adapt, it's not just willingness, but the time and that pace also matters. If you are quick to adapt, yes, you will ride the wave of change. And if you really say, okay, look, I am an MBA, I've been exposed to this kind of an audience and this kind of a learning process, I take my own time and I take my own decisions and processes, you will lose out on that rat race which happens. So for me, qualification cannot be a major criteria which determines success, nor any programs that need to be really given to
Thanks so much,
upskill.
Manjeet. And you brought out a new word called adaptability, and that's so important. And I would like to hook onto that word, Indu. And my question is towards you now. And moving on from the freshers to the mid-level managers, right? Let's look at those senior managers, people who still have about 20 years of their career left with them. What would be your advice to them? How do they prepare themselves? I mean, because in today's time, and as we start seeing forward, that everybody will not have a vertical progression in their career. Everybody will not, because some of these job roles will cease to exist. People will need to pick up new skills. We are looking at people need to branch across. People will look at doing very different stuff from what they have been doing. Everywhere we may not see vertical progression. In a situation like that, for what would be your advice to mid-level managers? How do they prepare themselves for the jobs of the future?
All right. So for the mid-level, I still feel they should be more open, because it's actually like adolescence, if I can put it that way. So it's the teenage of a career that you are yet not sure, whether you are still on this side or you want to shift your lines. So I would like to take my example here. I totally had a sales background previously, and it was on my middle management days that I suddenly realized that okay, my passion lies in learning and development and into the HR side. So while I was dealing with a lot of people and human resources, it was more towards the development side that I was interested in. So I think these come with a lot of exposure. Middle management should not be, they should be open to take more responsibilities. I think that's the most difficult part of the middle layer. They hear it from the juniors. They have to execute what the senior management or the organization demands. But I think that will, they will reap the benefits out of those times only, where they are more adaptable to different job roles.
Mhm.
But if one decides that, if one takes a decision that no, I want to pursue this and this is going to be my career, I think that that's where somewhere they should be open. They should be more open at that time. While preparing for the same, I think they should attend a lot of events and webinars like this, where they're exposed to a different industry, different roles of, different people from different backgrounds. And then they might, it sometimes strikes you suddenly that, oh, this was something missing maybe, or oh, this is something, maybe it's more exciting for me, and what I was doing was okay, but this looks more appealing to me. So those are some platforms where I think middle management should engage more. And there are a lot of events. I mean, now that there's pandemic, we are more into webinars, etc. There are events like, suppose people from the HR background, or from this they can attend these forums, like SHRM meets organized by SHRM, or the NASCOM meets, where you actually see a lot of technical stuff going across globally. So those are the exposures, I think, and companies should, encourage middle management to, take some time off from the day-to-day mundane activities and go and attend these events. It really gives a lot of exposure to people.
Agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, lots of stuff that you said. Maybe one word for all of these could be about learnability, and you're talking about that you should be open to learning new stuff and pick
Yes.
up from whichever sources that I can pick up additional skill sets or maybe multiple experiences, which makes you a multi-skilled employee, which brings better resilience. Very well said. In the before, I think I still have some more time. And my next question to you, Suresh. I mean, uh, across all of you, we heard that the future is driven by technology. Technology is going to be central to a lot of stuff that we do. It's central to a lot of experiences that we do. It's central to the way we work, the way we live, the way we eat, the way we shop. It's the way we learn. It's becoming central to a lot of stuff. Social skills are becoming important in today's time. That we agree to that. Flexible work policies are coming up. Somebody says work from home. It's no more on number of hours that you spend in the office, but it's productivity which is becoming important. Obviously, we're talking about a world which is of work, which is very different from what most of us have witnessed over the last few years or decades. In this new world, Suresh, what type of a leadership do you think the company should develop, which will help them transcend or change over and tide over to this new world of work? How will they make them keep themselves more resilient to this change? I'm sure leadership has got a big role to play. What type of leadership would that be?
See, the days are gone when we will be saying that the leaders need to march ahead of his followers. Now, now it is reverse. What the leaders have to do, leaders have to march back at the followers. They have to make the followers walk in front of them, so
Mm-hmm.
that they always see that the things are they have been nurtured, they have been cared, they have been developed the way we want to see the future. Now, if you ask me, the irony today is that uh, we have made our life very professional. I still heard few of the discussions that is happening in terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of technology, in terms of. I'll give you a simple example for it. Why there was a need of getting this technology today? Without that, also we have lived before. Why we felt okay there is a need? The thing is that the aspirations levels of human is increasing day by day. Their expectation towards quality is increasing. They want everything that is being done, it has to be 100% accurate, which is not possible by human. I'll give you a very classic example. When I was working with one of the auto industries, while you do a welding, when a human being does, when a worker does a welding, there is a chances of error. When a robot does the same welding, it does it with so much of perfection that error means the chances of error is as less as 99.999% of accuracy is there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what has emerged for the robot to come, because we have find the errors are happening with the human. Now, while that is very true in terms of you have got your professional level of working, you have got an, but please don't carry that at your home. Don't get artificial intelligence to come and dictate at your home. Have your values, have your socializing be the same at home, so that while you have got a different working pattern at home, and you have got a very different working pattern at work. In case if suppose we maintain that, to a greater extent, our issue with empathy can be solved. We are no more dependent on machines to be empathetic, because still we have got a life.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two is that the question which you have posed is that whether technology can never dictate a human, to be very frankly telling. But we have to see that to the extent we need the technology. In case if suppose still, let us, for instance, there are still many textile industries that is working in the country that is purely labor oriented. They have not adopted the technology, but they are giving a good match and competition to the best of the companies, which is purely robotic and which is purely automated. That is still happening. That's in our country itself, it is happening. And they are selling their product at much more margins and with much more costlier than much more margin than those countries, and those are not able to survive. Why that is happening over here? So what is that we need? To the extent we need to incorporate these technologies dependent on us.
Mm-hmm.
To be very, very frankly telling. Now, in case if suppose we say that, okay, we wanted to make our workforce redundant and we don't wanted to utilize them, we wanted to work only on technology, then it is altogether a different paradigm. No, we say, no, we have got certain responsibility towards society. We will have the technology, as well as we will use this manpower, also this human workforce also in our work, and we will maintain some amount of semblance in these two. That is a different thought process. So that to the extent, so this in order to really see that how the technology need to be reshaped, how this human force need to be working with us, there has to be some amount of policy decision and guidelines which will be happening at a certain government level.
Mm-hmm.
That will, in case if suppose they specify the guidelines telling that in case if you these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things in an organization, in a country, and this is the way forward for it, then what will happen is the corporate or the organization that are adopting this, going to there a lot of clarity in it in terms of moving ahead. The issue what is happening, even if you adopt a technology that, and it is going to get obsolete very soon. For instance, in case I should not be making any comment on this. For instance, those who are working on SAP, you have adopted a SAP, and while you are adopting a SAP, you have find that you have invested some X money. But every time you need to do an updation in a SAP, your investment is keep on increasing. That the same thing is there. To the extent you wanted to invest in it, to the extent you wanted to stop in it. But one thing very clearly is that we cannot run away with the productivity and efficiency. Whatever said and done, be it a technology, be it the workforce, that is one thing which cannot compromise. So to that extent, we should have the clear guidelines within the company, within the corporate. Okay, these are the boundaries which we are setting for ourselves. This is the direction which we will be moving, provided subject to condition, these 5 things have to be met all the time. This is my take on it.
Great. Thank you so much, Suresh. And just before we have about 3-4 minutes. Manjit, can I have your opinion on this? I mean, how do organizations make it more successful? What type of leadership styles, what type of leadership changes, or what type of skills should leaders have to be able to drive this change in their organization?
I think one is for sure social skills, because what this pandemic has taught us, and all of us, irrespective of whether we are in leadership positions or otherwise, is to be more social and be dependent on each other, right? So the skills of being social and being dependent, that's one. The second is a strong belief saying that technology and a strong message to the rest of the teams or the employees from leadership saying that look, technology is there to help you and enhance processes, not to take out jobs. What is going to really happen is redundancy would be reduced to a large extent because technology will take over that redundancy. Repetitions will be taken over by technology so that human mind can be really be invested in terms of bringing up something new to the table rather than being focused too much on redundant, mundane processes being done by humans. I think that's the great opportunity that all of us should look at. And confidence, if given from the leadership to the employees on those lines, will really boost the morale of employees and really make them look forward to something which is more agile, which is more refreshing for all of them to really look at and engage themselves with, whether that be from a learning perspective or from a job skilling perspective, and not be too much worried about whether they will lose their jobs, because technology, automation, everything is really going to help you take out redundancy from the process. I think that's the key leadership message which is really required at this point in time. And I very well resonate with Suresh saying that it's leading from behind, and leading from front has been a lost or a very old way of leadership. And I think more than leadership, I would say ki followership has now really gained importance. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have followers, then you can't just self-proclaim yourself to be a leader. So how do you ensure that you have the right set of followers, and how do you get the right set of followers, and what is the role of followership in leadership? I think that's the key, at least going forward.
Very, very well said. Very well said. And leadership by influence, not by authority. Yeah. Very, very well said. And solicit participation, not by. So well said, Manjeet. Just I just, because we are almost running short of time, I just want to pick up one question, and Indujita, maybe you could take it up. It says that we have heard a lot about automation. Will it replace all types of jobs, or is it going to replace only low-skilled jobs? Which jobs do you think will get replaced in times to come because of automation?
So, I mean, there's a debate constantly on this. Not only right now, it's been quite some time now. It's been some years now that in every panel, this topic definitely comes up. That will, we shall we not need any more sales guys? Will sales be automated? Shall we not need any trainer henceforth? The trainee is getting automated. My submission here from my side is the skills will never be replaced by a machine, never.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just concluded in the previous discussion when Suresh was also talking, the empathy factor still remains only with humans.
Mm-hmm.
So while there would be a specific set of tasks performed with the help of machines, like if I talk about the recruitment process, maybe the initial screening would be definitely done through artificial intelligence. But yes, of course, the final selection, I do not believe that it will be done by a machine. It has to be done by a human interface. Now while saying that, in future, while there are certain job descriptions where the skill set is very very defined and exactly crisp, and the CVs are also exactly just word to word similar, which is an idealistic world again. Maybe in those hypothetical situations, maybe the skill sets could be exactly replaced by a machine, otherwise not, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your opinion. I think we have run short of our time now. Thank you so much, all of you. You have been a wonderful panel, and thank you for all the engaging discussions and all your valuable inputs. Look forward to meeting you again in some other panel. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience, for being with us, and see you again in our next event very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Shantanu, and thank you all viewers, and thank you panelists. Thank you so much.